Hey, what's going on, Archons? It's another AOA video. That's right. For those of you who have not heard, we're going to do an AOA opening day. That is basically, you can open new AOA decks and jam decks you have been jamming that are not really decks you have been jamming, but decks that you haven't really jammed that are in your collection, collecting dust, and it's going to be a triad style tournament. And what that means is, oh, here we go, Brobnar Untamed logos. Like, the amount of Brobnar Untamed logos I've opened is silly. And this is Nietz the Fiefdom Ape. Oh, that's a cool name. So yeah, so it's going to be triad style in the sense that you will have 3 decks. There'll be no banning. It will be whoever wins best 2 out of 3. And as well as each game will be 35 minutes, not a total amount of time that gets done. So yeah, stay tuned for more news on the date for that. It is going to be a fun little triad thing. The idea is to get to play a lot of your AOA decks that you maybe have not played yet. And on top of it, what you'll be doing as well is at the end of each round, if you lost that round, you can swap out one of your decks and put in another one, giving you a greater opportunity to play more of your decks. So stay tuned for information on that. My Twitter is the best place, at Boulevard Blake, BLVD Blake, to see the poll and decide when we're going to play and whatnot. So here we go. 1-2 Punch, Bramo, Coward's End, Calfine, Drummerknot, Gauntlet, Groggins, Groke, Into the Fray, Sound the Horns, Barehanded, and that means there's no Ember control in this deck. Then we go Archimedes, Binate Rupture, Igor, Helperbot, Labwork, Library of Babel, Titan Mechanic, ZOX Researcher, Eureka, Memory Chip, Replicator, and then on to Untamed with a Darna, Fanghouse, Glimmer, Grovekeeper, Nox, Marmoswam, Persistence Hunting, Rusnar, Flaxia, and Curiosity. This deck is fairly trash, actually. Just kidding. No, it is. So what do we got here? So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 Ember Pips, creatures 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23 creatures. That's a lot. There are the rest of the stats. I gotta say now, it's like, how can you make a set that can have so many decks that cannot stop your opponent from moving forward in the game, i.e. generating Ember and Forging Keys? Like, how can there be such a strong oversight? Like, how is that done? Like, it's so frustrating. Like, I'm actually, it's the one thing that's so frustrating about AOA, because it has so much potential. You get these moments where you literally can't stop your opponent Forging Keys. It's annoying. There's legitimately one card in this entire deck that can take someone off check, and that's in Groke, and that's it. And that's not enough. Like, that's stupid. Like, I'm actually getting frustrated of how many times this happens. Like, there needs to be this greater thing, which I think has been corrected since AOA, but the fact that one set had such a strong oversight is just silly. And to follow it up after a set that had so much Ember control is just, it was not well thought out, I must say. Things I don't like about this deck, since I'm on my Tyrant right here, is Curiosity. So I think I got quite a few scientists in here. 1, 2. Oh no, just 2. Okay, good. So that's not bad. That could be handy. What do I do like about this deck, though? What are the positives of this deck? Well, Flaxia is going to probably put in work. Grovekeeper is very nice. Glimmer to get something back. What do I want to get back here? Persistence Hunting, probably. For each damage-friendly creature. Is there a way to damage my creatures? There is not. Nope. There is not. So that's not helpful. So there's no way that's going to really do work with a nice burst from Flaxia. A burst from Darnas, which is a shame. I really like that. We do have the Replicator, which can get some Reap abilities going. So what Reap abilities do we want to use? Well, let me find some and I'll tell you. Not on my side of the board, so cool. This deck is just, like, this deck might be the worst one I've opened so far, actually. A little frustrated. Can you hear it from the tone of my voice? I do like the logos, I will say. This logos is really nice. It has a potential. I mean, Archimedes to Archive. Grok, I would say, is probably going to be the main candidate. Flaxia as well, potentially. Actually, Igors and Helper Bots. What am I talking about? That's when you want ZYX. Yeah, there's a lot of good archiving, drawing, which is nice. Memory chip, Eureka. Yeah, there's some cool stuff that can be done with Logos. Logos is for sure the best house in this deck. Sound the Horns is fine. Into the Fray with Grok is great. Groggan's Gauntlet, Drummerknot. I mean, Drummerknot's great with Grok, especially with Into the Fray. Put it back to your hands. I guess. Yeah, I was just trying to think of if you could use it on, like, use Into the Fray on Grok, play Drummerknot, put it back to your hand, and then play it again and use Gauntlet of Command and continue the cycle. I don't think you can, though. So yeah, there's some decent board control in Brobnar. Creature distributions, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in Brobnar, which is unfortunate. I kind of want more in Brobnar. So Untamed is where you're going to get the biggest Reap reward sort of thing to get keys. Aside from that, what do we got in Brobnar that I like? Barehanded could be good because there is only Library of Babel and there's only Library of Babel actually in Gauntlet of Command. So that could be handy, especially with some of those pesky artifacts that exist. Yeah, I like the 1-2 punch is fine. But like I said, this deck doesn't have a lot going for it, in my opinion. I do think that Grovekeeper and the Fang Houses are kind of nice, or even Darna for their Reap abilities. Eureka's really cool for turn 1, obviously. Yeah, but Helper Bot into, I don't even know. Helper Bot into a Flaxia, I guess, could be one. Helper Bot into a Grok to set up that play is another. Yeah, there's just some things that you could do with the Helper Bot. Helper Bot's going to be handy. And yeah, that's pretty much all I can say for this deck. I'm not excited for this deck, unfortunately. It makes me a little bit sad. Oh, I just realized this. You could go Archimedes, ZYX, Curiosity. So Archimedes... Yeah, I like that. You can use Archimedes down, put Helper Bot next to Archimedes, ZYX, or you could have already played ZYX and then play the Curiosity, which then destroys your ZYX, goes into your archive. So that's kind of cool. I like that. But yeah, there's not a lot I'm excited about for this deck, but we'll see how it pans out. No sense passing full judgment just yet, but I will be judgmental on this deck because it is not that great, and it says Fiefdom Ape, and it doesn't have a single ape, so that's a little annoying. Should have had at least one ape. Maybe Legacy Niffle Ape would have been cool. So I hope you enjoyed this little less than excited version of this show, but yeah, it happens with AOA. It happens, and unfortunately, I'm actually really not enjoying this combination of houses anymore. I've seen it too often. I need something new. This series of this 2-player starters, that's all I've been opening is 2-player starter decks. It's had a lot of this, so maybe my display that I'm following up after this will have something different. Hope you enjoyed this rant. As always, may your ember never be stolen and your keys forged promptly. Have a good one.